Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with day 2 of my Wrestlemania Memories video series. Now, if you missed it yesterday, I started my series talking about my memories of watching Wrestlemanias 1 through 6. Now on to day 2, talking about Wrestlemania 7 through 12. This is where my memories of each one start to get a little clearer. So there you go. Starting with Wrestlemania 7. Of course, 1991, Gulf War was going on. First one, that is. It was held in Los Angeles Arena. Supposed to be in a big coliseum. Supposed to have like 90,000 people. But of course, thanks to security concerns, it was in the arena instead. There's many concerns. This WrestleMania, not one of the best WrestleManias. Like, there were some okay matches in this one. There's some weird matches too. One of the silliest matches in this card was Jake the Snake Roberts against Rick Martel in a blindfold match and had these big bags over their head because of the whole arrogance storyline when Rick Martel sprayed arrogance in the eyes of Jake Roberts. As a kid, I thought it was kind of like cool, but as I get older, I realized how stupid the match was. It was a weird matchup because they're all blind. It was stupid. You know, I'm glad they didn't go with that again. I'm glad it was the only time that match happened. It was kind of silly. It was also legendary for the debut of The Undertaker. Undertaker's first WrestleMania, of course, beginning of the streak. Taking on Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Now, this match was, like I said, decent matchup for what it was. Taker's debut. But one of the best, I think everyone's favorite moment from WrestleMania 7, and I would agree, was the Ultimate Warrior Macho Man Randy Savage match, which was a career-ending match. This match, being from these two guys, pretty decent matchup. It was an awesome match. It was probably Warrior's second best Mania match. Probably his best next to his Hogan match the year before. And of course the whole build-up with Elizabeth being in the crowd, starting the Elizabeth Macho Man reunion after Elizabeth left Macho after WrestleMania 5. With the emotional kiss in the end after the Ultimate Warrior defeated Macho. Well, Macho did retire then, but he got reinstated, as we know, from WrestleMania 8, which I'll get to in a few moments. So that was probably like the most memorable moment from WrestleMania 7 was Ultimate Warrior Macho Man. Decent, great matchup for what it was. Very underrated match. When it comes to being squashed with so many great matches, it's probably one of the most underrated matches. Decent matchup for what it was. Okay story. Very exciting matchup. Like I said, Warrior's best match besides his match with Hogan. Probably Macho Man's best match besides his match with WrestleMania 8, which I'll get to in a moment. Now, there's like some weird squashes in this card. A lot of squashes like Legion of Doom taking on Power of Glory. Do not need to explain. We also had a couple title matches, including IC title, Mr. Perfect defeating Big Boss Man as an okay matchup. Tag team titles were on the line. The Nasty Boys defeated Bret Hitman Hart and Jimmy Anvil Hart Foundation. Decent tag match as well. Of course, main event, Hulk Hogan taking on Sergeant Slaughter for the WWE title. Of course, Slaughter was the Iraqi guy at the time. And this match was decent at best. I've seen better Hogan matches at Mania, but it was an okay matchup for what it was. Hogan getting the victory over Slaughter. It was kind of slow going, but it was okay. Okay matchup. So there you go, WrestleMania 7. Now, one of the WrestleManias I remember the most when I was a kid. I rented this one probably the most out of every WrestleMania I used to rent. This is probably the one I rented the most of. WrestleMania 8, the Indiana Hoosier Dome in Indiana, the football CA Dome. Now, this WrestleMania is probably one of the best WrestleManias. There's some great situations here. Macho Man against Ric Flair for the WWE title. Now, the year before at WrestleMania 7, I mentioned Macho Man wrestled a great match against Ultimate Warrior. Now, this match against Ric Flair and Macho, although they would feud again when they both landed in WCW, the WWE feud, especially with the whole silliness with the whole Ric Flair-Elizabeth thing, it was an okay matchup. It was a decent matchup. Especially as it was supposed to be Hogan-Flair. It ended up being Hogan's Justice, which was a stinkeroonie in my mind. Like, it was an okay matchup. Especially with the return of the Ultimate Warrior interfering in the end. That match was decent, but when it comes to Ric Flair and Macho, great, exciting matchup. Back and forth action. That was an exciting situation. Elizabeth getting involved midway towards it. And, of course, Macho Man became the second time WWE Champion that night at WrestleMania 8 after holding onto the tights in a small package. You know, you saw bad guys did it, but a good guy did it. So there you go. Decent. Great matchup. That was an exciting matchup there. Also, Bret the Hitman Hart taking on Roddy Piper in a Intercontinental title match. That was a great matchup. Very exciting matchup. Also, decent matchup for that Mania. Shawn Michaels making his WrestleMania debut as a heel solo. Took on Tito Santana in a very exciting matchup. Of course, the start of Shawn Michaels' reign as the Heartbreak Kid. And also, Taker took on Jake the Snake Roberts. That was a decent matchup as well. I remember that match very, very late with the tombstone, the concrete, and there was like 2 or 3 DDTs from Jake, but Taker would not stay down. Of course, Undertaker got the victory that night. There was some silly things like an 8-man tag match. The Taco Rick Martel was okay. So there you go. It was my thoughts on WrestleMania 8. And probably I can echo this. Probably one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. WrestleMania 9 at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. Do we even have to go there? I need to say 2 words. Hulk Hogan. Yokozuna Bret Hart main event. Now, Yokozuna was the first guy who won the Royal Rumble and got a title shot. It's the first one to do that. And that match was decent at best, but it was ruined when Hulk Hogan came down and made that impromptu challenge to Yokozuna for the title. In everyone's mind, probably in my mind too, one of the worst WrestleMania endings ever. For one of the worst WrestleManias ever. It was like silly things like Giant Gonzalez, Undertaker, probably in my mind, the worst Undertaker match ever at WrestleMania against Giant Gonzalez, aka Elegante from WCW. And you had some okay things like Lex Luger and Mr. Perfect was decent. But besides that, the pay-per-view was mostly known as one of the worst. There was also an okay tag match between the Head Shrinkers and Steiner Brothers that night. That was a decent matchup. There's some silly things, a lot of silly things, especially everyone wearing togas that night, including Ficus Maximus and JR's WrestleMania debut wearing a toga. So there you go. That's my thoughts on WrestleMania. Probably one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. Now on to WrestleMania 10, Madison Square Garden, and it was a classic one. There were some great moments, great matches in this one. Bret Hart and Owen Hart kicking things off because Bret Hart would later challenge Yokozuna again for the WWE title after Lex Luger took on Yokozuna. Of course, it was the double Royal Rumble winner here. Now, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, great athletic matchup to kick off WrestleMania 10. Probably one of the best openers in WrestleMania history in everyone's mind. I kind of agree with that to a T. Great athletic wrestling from these two, of course, starting a little brother versus brother feud. But of course, the match besides Owen and Bret that everyone remembers, the ladder match. Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental Championship. Probably one of the best, probably top 10, top 20 WrestleMania matches of all time. This was first ladder match in a pay-per-view, WrestleMania-wise, and it was just an exciting matchup. These two kind of made what the ladder match became. It was just an exciting matchup. Great moves with the ladders, a weapon. And unlike today, you had multiple ladders. These guys only had one ladder the entire match, and it bent during the match. And but it was an exciting matchup, and it'll be going down as one of the greatest matches in Mania history. It's a very exciting matchup. And of course, kicked off the ladder match movement. Of course, Razor Ramon winning that match. Probably one of my favorite Mania matches of all time, top 10. But besides those two, and of course, Bret Hart beating Yokozuna, the match was okay, with Roddy Piper being referee for that one. Not as good as Mania 9, but still a decent matchup for what it was. You had some silly things like Doink and Dink against Luna Vachon and Bam Bam Bigelow. As a kid, I thought it was weird, but I know how stupid it was. You had the first singles women's match in 10 WrestleManias, Alundra Blaze taking on Lali Kai, the one that was in the first WrestleMania for the women's title. Decent matchup there. He has some squashes, like Yokozuna taking on Earthquake taking on Adam Bomb in a quick squash. Howard Finkel wearing a wig, but it was a decent WrestleMania. Probably, like I said, one of the top 10 best WrestleManias. Now, if WrestleMania 9 was one of the worst, this is probably next to it as one of the worst. Besides WrestleMania 9, WrestleMania 11 was one of the worst WrestleManias ever. And I have this on VHS. WrestleMania 11, probably one of the worst. You had Bam Bam Bigelow against Lawrence Taylor. What do I have to say? It was the first time that a celebrity wrestled in a match one-on-one against anyone for WWE since WrestleMania 2 with Mr. T against Roddy Piper. But, like I said, that match stunk. Stupid celebrities like that Nick guy from NYPD Blue, Diesel against Shawn Michaels, King Kong Bundy and Undertaker. Now, I said that Taker's match against El Gigante was one of the worst. Probably his King Kong Bundy match was probably the other worst match in his history. It was in a small arena. Nothing memorable at all. Besides, it was Shawn's first match for the WWE title. His second match was more memorable. Of course, Diesel winning that match. Bret Hart against Bob Backlund, weird matchup, and I Quit match with Roddy Piper getting involved. It was a decent matchup. It was weird WrestleMania, probably, like I said. Besides WrestleMania 9, one of the worst WrestleManias ever. WrestleMania 12. Or WrestleMania 11. I'm sorry. It was stupid, WrestleMania. And like I said, I had this on VHS. Nothing to say about this mania besides it was, like I said, one of the worst. Now on to WrestleMania 12. This is probably the only mania out of these 6 I haven't seen in its entirety. I remember watching some of it as a kid. Of course, match everyone remembers from WrestleMania 12. Bret Hart against Shawn Michaels in a 60-minute Iron Man match for the WWE title. Now, this match was just, what do you have to say? 2 guys going on for 60 minutes. And in an era when 60-minute Iron matches were just beyond WWE. They didn't want to go that route. To have 2 guys go out for an hour and try to engage the audience, it was just an amazing matchup. Probably, despite the fact they got no falls in the main 60 minutes. Very athletic matchup to see. Very articulate matchup. Very physical match. Very exciting match with them going back and forth match. And when it came down to overtime, sudden death, Shawn Michaels nailed that super kick and, of course, achieved the boyhood dream and became the WWE champion for the first time. That was an exciting moment. There's one other weird moments in this Mania. Like overall, besides that match, the Mania was okay. You had, of course, the return of Ultra Boy in a quick match against Triple H in his first WrestleMania. Okay for what it was. You had Undertaker against Diesel. Decent matchup for them at WrestleMania 12 that year. Roddy Piper, Goldust in a little street fight. That was like kind of funny, but still kind of weird. But okay, matchup there. And of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin making his first WrestleMania appearance as the ringmaster, where his manager DiBiase took on Samuel Vega. Okay, matchup. But besides that, besides Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, it's probably the only match everyone really remembers from WrestleMania 12. WrestleMania 12 was like okay, WrestleMania, but that Bret Hart Shawn Michaels match is probably one of the best matches ever in WrestleMania. Top 10, top 20. Very exciting matchup there. And that is it for my WrestleMania Memories Day 2. And I want to get your thoughts. What are your favorite WrestleMania memories from these specific 5? Or any other WrestleMania? Do you have any WrestleMania memories? Comment your thoughts on WrestleMania's past below. And I'll see you again tomorrow for Day 3. As I will go through WrestleMania's 13 to, in everyone's mind, well, 18, well, 13 to 18 is tomorrow, which will include, in everyone's mind, and I kind of agree with them, the best WrestleMania ever, WrestleMania 17. And the one I was at, first one out of 2 I was at, WrestleMania 18. That's tomorrow. See y'all then. Then by y'all been attacked by this special video from Zach. Thank you all very much for watching. See you all later. Yeah.